So the first thing that I'm sensing here already is we do have a new job situation coming through, and you got something I believe very similar to Sagittarius. So especially for those on the cusp between Sagittarius and Scorpios, you might want to take a look at both readings, because I feel like this was very strong energy indicative of financial windfall, financial gains, but also a new job that is coming through in the works for you. Okay. What I feel is that for a lot of you, there might be some legal issue and you're gaining from it, okay? So if you're working in a client base and you're a consultant in the legal profession, I do feel you have some major important clients. And I feel like these are like milestone cases that are going to, be change the law in some capacity. So I definitely feel you're getting a very high profile client if you are especially a consultant or you're working in client basis. So I definitely feel like a huge portfolios for those of you who are investing, who are brokers, investors. I see that you're dealing with physically with a large sum of money, and that's for those of you who are working. For others, there will be new jobs coming through. And I feel like it pertains to governmental institutions. It pertains to law. It pertains to like civics and society. So I feel like you've got a lot of like public image things that are going to be basically shining on you. Okay, so like getting a lot of reception and good reception, but also getting a lot of scrutiny as well from the public, good or bad. So just make sure that you are mindful about that. Okay, conduct yourself properly. What I also feel is this also indicates to me some long-standing legal dispute and a settlement finally coming through. For some of you, I feel like this could simply be like divorce, finally severing those cord of attachments, dividing in your assets, liquidating your assets so that you both can either split the money in a fair manner rather than holding on to, like non-liquid goods such as uh, housing, land, property, and things like that. Just like liquidating all your assets and then dividing the assets between two people. So I definitely feel court settlements as well pertaining to jobs like workers' compensation, even like any type of, I feel strongly like malpractice, and I also feel like any situation that pertains to legal system, and I'm getting very strong incarceration as well. Okay, so for those of you who are dealing with a few of these things, I feel that it's going to be settled, and I definitely feel that for this month something is breaking through where you're actually going to actually discuss the amount of money, the amount that is being settled, as well as signing paperwork. So I definitely feel signing on the dotted line for you guys. I don't see so much like paperwork and contracts, but I do feel a lot of discussions about money in a official manner, like sitting down at a lawyer's office and really talking to the other side about what's going to happen, how the money and the assets are being divided. Okay, so that's coming in very strongly. I feel like, it's once again like offers of jobs, okay? And both of these cards fell out very early on in the spread. So they indicate to me this might have come in at the end of August. So you're still in the discussion stages right now. So it's not over just yet. In terms of your housing environment, I do feel it pertains to housing environment, okay? We do have the Tower and the Nine of Wands, and I actually should have pulled out another card for the Tower, and I will do that in just a little bit. But let me talk about this situation. I definitely feel a lot of you are still going through the mediation or the stages, the appeal stages is what I'm feeling. So the Nine of Wands indicates a situation where we are kind of like battle weary, battle scarred, and we're still trying to rough it out and still trying to fight another day. So taking a rest from a situation to reconvene at a later time and to fight another day. So they're telling you pretty much, you've got a soldier on. It's not the end just yet. You're almost there, and things will change, okay? What's coming in the heels of that is the Tower, and the Tower is a major arcana card, and it can be very disruptive. It can be very life changing, and it can be very like impactful and long lasting. This is not a card to take lightly, especially when it pertains to some type of a long-standing issue that you've had with a person, an individual, an institution, a group of people. So this is an ongoing thing. You might have had to deal with it for the past year. And I do feel that it's going to come to an end, and you're going to be able to get some type of a resolution or even some type of a closure. The types of closure you're getting, whether or not it's going to be ruled in your interest, that is up to the individual, and that's, going to vary. But I do feel it pertains to court cases, it pertains to legal disputes, and it also pertains to financial gains, like through settlements and things like that. So they're telling you that, you might be battle weary, you might just want to avoid it altogether, but it's telling you to soldier on for another day and, push forward, okay? The end is almost there, so just push forward. What I'm also feeling is, I feel for a lot of you, you might have to liquidate your assets, which is, like selling the house, selling the property, getting an appraiser to look at your property, and they might find some type of structural damage. I also feel that, you're hoping to sell a property and just move away and just leave it all behind. And they're saying, well, you can't really sell it. It's not up to code. It's not up to regulation, mainly because of, A, B, and C. And I feel that you're going to have to spend a little bit of money to fix it up. So that's potentially coming through too. What I'm also feeling is, I feel like this is a long-standing problem. It's not something that just came into the picture recently, okay? Disputes, arguments, misunderstandings as well. But these are like long-standing issues with the same person that you might have been dealing with. And as a result of it, I feel like, one thing leads to another, and then both parties decide to just go their separate ways, okay? It's that's what it seems like to me. And I'm actually going to pull out another card because I am curious. So let's just see. What does the Tower pertain to for majority of the Scorpios? So we have here the Princess of the Princess of Wands. This is like the Page of Wands in the traditional tarot deck, the Rider-Waite deck. The Page of Wands indicates news and messages coming through related to business, related to, I feel that in some instances, it can relate to work projects as well. But this is basically, it came out like this, which indicates like some troublesome news that really shook your foundation, okay? So troublesome news that really, really shook your foundation. Finding out that somebody has been like, to your face, they might have been very, very supportive, but I feel like behind the scenes, they might have been working at cross purposes with you. This also indicates to me the Wand's energy is just, you are a water sign. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody with a very, very different philosophical outlook, okay? The fire signs is like your polar opposites. Elementally, it's opposite from water. And I feel like because of it, our sense of direction in life, or our value system, our moral conduct, our code of ethics, you're dealing with somebody who's very, very different from you, and you are butting heads. You are not seeing eye to eye, and I feel like some things are coming through right now where you are going to realize that, things cannot continue as they are. You refuse to change. I feel that you are refusing. You're taking a stance. And I feel that the other person is also taking a stance, okay? So I definitely feel like some troublesome information coming through, news, messages that will really shake the foundation of your life coming through for this month. And I don't want that to sound so catastrophic, but I do feel for a lot of you, it could be as simple as, I can't live here anymore, I need to find another place, and then moving out, okay? Just as simple as that. But either way, it is something very transformative, and it is something that is almost like irreversible. But the thing I want you to keep in mind about this is that I'm feeling that, sometimes things are built on the wrong foundation, okay? And a lot of the times, for all people, not just for Scorpios, but I feel for all people, we stay in it and stay in it and stay in it. And then we start getting comfortable, right? And we always know, our nagging intuition always tells us that, this is not going to work. So you really have to, do something about it. And, a lot of the times we just sit and ponder about it, and we procrastinate too. So we'll say like, oh, I'll take care of it tomorrow. I'll take care of it tomorrow. And I feel that for a lot of you, tomorrow is actually happening. So you might have to reassess some things that you've been doing. And I feel like, if you've been building a fence, let's just say if you've been building a fence, some type of a barrier between you and another person, and you're just like, that tree that is like perfectly lined up on top of the fence is getting kind of dry. So it might, the branch might snap off, and you might say like, oh, I'll fix it tomorrow. I'll saw it off tomorrow, or I'll fix the fence tomorrow. And I feel like that's something that's coming through. Okay. Like lightning strikes or something, and then the tree falls over, or the branch falls off, or the fence gets knocked down. So I definitely see some boundary issues too when it comes to court cases. Okay, like neighbors encroaching upon your own space. You might do the same with neighbors, or like some type of vehicle problems is like that too. So just be very careful. I feel like the energy is a little bit volatile, so be very careful if you're out and about, and especially if you're driving with just like one other person. That came to mind. And then make sure that if for some odd reason you have a habit of like leaving your windows open, just make sure you lock up, because I feel like there might be like a surprising change of weather, and you might get rain for some reason that you didn't expect, and then it ends up getting through. Okay, so just be careful about that. Now, in terms of your finances, and I say finances, but it's there's also another message here. Okay, we do have the Prince of Pentacles as well as the Devil. So the Prince of Pentacles indicates like a little bit of a step down when it comes to accepting jobs, okay? I do feel new jobs coming through for some of you, and the new job just means a new job. It can be like a huge pay increase for a lot of you. It could also be like a step up in terms of status, but for majority of people, it just means a new job. For others of you, I feel like it might be, a job offer that you feel that, okay, I'm going to do this. It's not where I want to be, in terms of salary, but I'm definitely going to work at it. And a lot of you might have accepted a new job recently in the time of Taurus. So that's going to be, April 21st to May 21st. So a lot of you might have accepted a job and then you figure, okay, if it's like commission based, you might realize that you might not have enough clients, and then you're kind of stuck to this job, so you can't really branch out and look for other jobs. So I feel like if you had taken a job like in that time frame, like in the time of Taurus, or even the beginning of the year in that time of Capricorn, because we do have the Devil card too. But what it means to me is I feel like the job was not all that it's cracked up to be, okay? There were some hidden information that you might not have been aware of. And especially, I feel like for those of you who are like, if they asked you, do you want to get salary or do you want to get commission? And a lot of you might have been like, well, with commission, there's no cap, right? So you might have chosen clients based on a commission basis, and you might realize that it's actually not all that is cracked up to be. So I feel like there is a little bit for those of you who have accepted work in January, and especially around the April 21st, May 21st time frame, you're starting to do the math and the bookkeeping and the budgeting, and you're realizing that it might not pan out. So you might be looking for another job, or you might accept something else that comes through. So that's what I'm feeling. And in the meantime, you're very ecstatic about leaving this behind, but you still got to put in that 2 weeks notice, right? So you're going to be there for a little bit longer. And I know that sounds like more on the mundane level, but what I'm also feeling is for others of you who are dealing with an earth sign, okay? So an earth sign is Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. What I feel is that there are some unhealthy bonds of attachment that is linking you two together, okay? It could be like in the form where it's codependent. One person is making a lot of money, the other person is not. So financially, you are kind of chained up together. A lot of you, I feel like it might not be an earth sign, just another person in your midst that you are financially linked up with, and you are not able to extract yourself. If this situation sounds familiar, I definitely feel like some changes are going to come in. Some things are going to come in to shake this relationship, to shake you out of complacency, and for you to realize that, this is not healthy. You need to get out, and that you need to, I feel like, break those chains, like break free from bondage, okay? What I'm sensing is, for a lot of you, I feel like staying together with another person, with a company, for financial reasons, for financial security, okay? And I also feel like the situation was too comfortable, it was just too comfortable. It was too easy, it was too comfortable. So you stay there and stay there, and I feel that you're not growing anymore. You're becoming like, your soul wants you to explore a little bit more. You even want more for yourself. So you're starting to feel that, the shackles are tightening. So I feel this pertains to the work environment specifically for a lot of you, where you might be underpaid, and because it's secure, you might stay in it, okay? I'm gonna say this. Last month this month actually, because I already did it, I did the Capricorn reading, and I got a very similar energy where I felt like, the Capricorn energy was that a lot of people were working really, really hard, but they weren't financially where they wanted to be. And I feel like this energy it feels familiar. So if you're dealing with a Capricorn, I feel that they might be stuck in this situation, and you might be the one to give them some type of a self-esteem boost, or some type of a financial assistance or financial planning that's coming through for you, okay? For others of you, you might receive financial assistance from an earth sign, okay? And I feel that they're sincere and they're trying to help you. On the other end of the spectrum, I feel like for a lot of you, you might be in a situation, right? And you're just like, I don't know why, I can't really get out of it. People are trying to help me. And I feel like the people that are trying to help you are the ones that are enabling and worsening the situation. They don't want you to be independent. They don't want you to be financially, savvy or savvier than them. They don't want you to really free yourself. So I feel like it's an exploitative work environment, and I feel that the sooner you come to your senses about this situation, the happier you are going to be. So I feel like some type of an exploitative work environment is coming through. I feel like someone is giving you enough just so you can, get by, but they're not giving you enough to save up so that you can remove yourself out of this situation. So that's something coming through. I feel that it is exploitative. So, please get yourself out of this and, find something else, okay? Scrape by if you need to, because I feel that you need to remove yourself from this unhealthy situation. And what I feel is like the Tower came in first, which means the information was revealed to you, and I feel that you're still struggling to stay in it, okay? I'm also feeling, some situation here where it's very toxic, very codependent, and it's very like breaches of boundaries, breaches of like demarcation, not knowing clearly where we end and where others begin. And I feel like one person enabling another, and it's just this vicious cycle is what I'm feeling. And I apologize for the negativity, but I feel like this is not a healthy space for you to be in, okay? The Devil coming out with the Tower definitely screams out massive addiction to me as well. And I'm going to interpret it as more on the emotional front, which is like emotional codependencies, okay? Escapism, whatever way that you want to look at that. You have some really good stuff coming through in terms of financial stability. So focus your energy there rather than filtering it out or expending it towards ends that are not good for you on an emotional or even on a spiritual level, okay? So what's coming through at the end here is we've got the Lovers and the Two of Pentacles. So somebody's juggling multiple options, okay? So the two of Pentacles is definitely, just like purely on a mundane level. It means working two jobs, trying to get by, trying to scrape by, because we fear the alternative, which is, being in dire strait financially, having financial worries, living from paycheck to paycheck, or at least, trying to save up for a trip, because The Two of Pentacles usually indicate some type of overseas voyage, risky adventure as well, like risky venture is what I'm getting, which can be investment opportunities overseas linked up with another person. The Lover's card is major life decisions that you are going to have to make. And I feel that a lot of you are weighing out your options, okay? So I feel like on a purely personal level, I feel like if you're working in a corporation and you absolutely can't stand it anymore, a lot of you might be thinking about, do I continue working or do I shift into self-employment? Okay, this is a card about the business owner, and she has assets that grow for her. Okay, so I feel like a lot of you might just be, and I hope, you know, this is what you're grappling with rather than the other stuff, because this is a much better energy. So I feel like you might be grappling with, like, should I, you know, continue working, or should I get into self-employment? I feel for a lot of you, you've had some ideas that have not been solidified for creative projects that you can do and be self-employed at. And I feel like you might be getting some type of a reprimand in your work environment. And I feel like tempers might be flaring. And then I feel you leaving your job altogether without any backup plans. And then you actually go with the initial creative projects that you've been thinking about, okay? And I feel it's going to pan out quite well, actually. So you've got some good things coming, especially if you're planning to shift from full-time work to self-employment. The other alternative interpretation here is I feel like for a lot of you, you're dealing with an air sign, okay? And this is an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. But what I also feel about this person, and I feel like a very heavy Libra energy, because coming in at the beginning, we have the Justice card. And I feel like you're dealing with someone who is very intelligent, and they're like ready for battle, okay? So this is the King. This is like the, I guess like the apex of that suit of swords, which deals with communication. Someone in your environment is like, no matter what you say, no matter how you slice it, they always manage to get like a one-up when it comes to like verbal rapport, communication, and things like that, okay? So I definitely feel that is coming through. What I'm also sensing is, for a lot of you, and I'm getting like, you know, Gemini, Libra, heavy Libra influence here with the Lover's card and also that Justice card. For a lot of you, you might just be simply, you are at a crossroads when it comes to some type of a partnership, some type of an endeavor. And the Earth sign might be restrictive to you, and you might be shifting into an air sign, or vice versa. There is something here about, you know, having to make a decision between financial stability even, and between like excitement is what I'm sensing. Financial stability and excitement, okay? I feel like that's what's happening here. And there's also having to choose between earth signs and air signs. So earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and then air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And, you know, keep in mind, we did have a fire sign that came out as well. So that might also be thrown in the mix. So you've got a lot of people that you're essentially choosing from. And I feel like one relationship was, is very restrictive. The other relationship, it's not built on, you know, mutual emotional connection. One seems stable and but a little bit restrictive, that you're not ready for it just yet. The other one seems a little bit unstable, exciting, but very unstable. And then the other one is like the new option that you haven't tried yet. So I feel like something is piquing your interest. You've got some temptation in your environment. I do feel that, okay? Like I'm getting like specifically for those of you who are dating women, I feel like you've got some really pretty, you know, like starry-eyed, pretty women in your environment, and they're not provoking you. It's not like they're, you know, dressed up and trying to seduce you. I don't feel that. I feel that the information exchange, the way it comes together, it's very innocent, and because of it, you're very drawn to it. Okay, so just be very careful about that if that's the case. What I'm also feeling here We do have the Hierophant, the Princess of Cups, and the Seven of Cups. So this is a major, major karmic card, okay? It deals with order, it deals with tradition, and it deals with like hierarchy as well. So I feel like be very, very careful about how you communicate. I feel that, you know, being a little bit more orthodox